Hi, my name's Anna. I'm one of the teachers from Skype English School, and I'm here today focusing on using formal and informal titles. So we're going to work on how to actually address someone in a formal situation and an informal situation. Formal titles in English. In business situations, use formal titles unless the people you meet tell you otherwise. To get someone's attention, you can say, "Excuse me, sir," or "Pardon me, madam, ma'am." To greet someone, you can say, "Hello, sir," or "Good morning, madam, ma'am." English titles in use. Here are the formal titles English speakers use. Sir. This is for an adult male of any age. Ma'am. Adult female, particularly North American. Madam. Adult female. Mr. plus last name. Any man. Mrs. plus last name is a married woman. Ms. plus last name, unmarried woman or woman whose marital status you don't know. Miss plus last name, unmarried woman. Doctor plus last name. Some doctors do go by doctor and their first name as well. Professor and last name in a university setting. And we do say Mr., Mrs., Miss and Ms. Informal titles in English. Casual or very close relationships require an informal form of address. First name, friends, students, children. Miss, Mr. and first name, sometimes used by a dance or music teacher or childcare worker. Titles of affection. When addressing a child, a romantic partner or a close friend, or family member, usually younger, people often use these terms of endearment, also known as pet names. Honey can be a child, romantic partner or younger person. Dear, sweetie, love, darling, babe or baby, romantic partner. Pal, father or grandfather calls the male child. Buddy or bud, very informal between friends or adult to child, can be seen as negative. Here's some tips. How you address people may also change depending on your own age and status. If you are unsure, use a formal address. If your form of address is too formal, the other person will invite you to use an alternative form of address, such as a first name. What should I call my teacher or tutor? Start formal. He or she will probably tell you on day one during the introduction. If not, use a formal title until he or she tells you otherwise. Don't use the generic term teacher. This sounds as if you do not know your teacher's name. You wouldn't want to be called student, right? Even if you have a substitute teacher, make sure to address the instructor by a specific name. What should I call my child's teacher? Start with Mr. or Mrs. Call your child's teacher the same thing your child calls him or her. The teacher may give you permission to use her first name when your child is not present. How should I address people online? This depends on the situation. On a social network, you can usually use first names, even with teachers and administrators. In an email, use a formal form of address the first time you contact a person. The other person will likely respond by signing with just a first name. In your next email, you can safely address that person by their first name. What should I call my neighbours? This depends on your ages. Neighbours usually address each other with first names, though it depends on your age and theirs. Introduce yourself using your first name and wait to see how they introduce themselves. If your neighbour is older, you can ask the question during the second meeting. Is it okay if I call you Bob? First name. How do I address a waiter, waitress, or a flight attendant? Formal or first name. Use sir or madam, ma'am, if you don't know the first name. Do not use hey waiter or hey waitress. This is considered rude by the restaurant staff, and you will likely not receive friendly service. If you are a regular customer, you will build a relationship with the restaurant or cafe staff. Then you can call staff by their first names. You'll actually become a regular. Another tip I haven't actually included, but I will let you know, do not snap your fingers to get a waiter's attention. This is incredibly rude. So let's just review. What did we learn today? We learnt when to use formal and informal names and titles. And that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson and you'll tune in again